Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
So if you ever went to a house party in like the 90s, maybe early 2000s, people used to chant, "The roof, the roof, the roof is on fire." Substitute the word roof for the house, and you've got what's happening in college football right now. My name is Jason Hammer. I do the Hammer and Nigel show, afternoons in Indianapolis. Joining me as always, former elected official and tax-cutting machine, the unofficial mayor of Brownsburg, Indiana, and a number one rated radio host in his own right, Rob Kendall. And Rob, another week where the house has made an absolute killing. When you look at the numbers each week of the top 5 most bet games, the house is taking about 90% of it.
Well, we've said this for years on this program and others, that there's a reason they have great big casinos and you live where you live.
Right. There's a reason that Bellagio Fountain Show happens like every 30 minutes to an hour out in Las Vegas, where suites can run you around $10,000 a night, and the double wide trailer that some folks in Tuscaloosa are living in.
Well, I mean, it's a natural thing when 10% of every bet goes to the house, that the house is going to win, period. But you think about, of our picks so far this year, I'm 5-3, which means I'm 2 up, and I feel pretty good about that, which is why they have those ads to say, if you have a gambling problem, call the number, right? Because it usually just doesn't work out well for anyone not named the house.
I believe it was George Clooney's speech in Ocean's 11. If you play long enough, the house wins. The house takes you. But when you go big on that one special moment, you take the house. So let's take the house here, damn it. Let's get back in the winning mode here, shall we? I think the biggest game on the schedule is number 9, Illinois, at number 19, Indiana. Now, I know College Game Day is down in Miami, Florida at Miami, and if Florida didn't just completely crap the bed, that would have been the right choice. Oklahoma, Alabama, case could be made for that game. That's a pretty good game. It's still weird to me that that's a conference game, but it is. But I think number 9, Illinois, 19, Indiana, if you're looking for teams that just mirror each other, you've got teams with good veteran quarterbacks, teams that like to run the ball, teams that are not used to being considered powerhouses in the conference. And I think these head coaches are kind of similar. Like, if given the opportunity, each coach would run up the score and put 70 on the other guy and not think twice about it. So what do we do with this, Rob?
Well, you know me, I'm a sucker for loyalty, and I was in on Illinois at Duke a couple weeks ago, and they did me fine. And I loved the Illinois coach because he's a big, old, chubby, oddly shaped guy.
One of us. One of us.
What's his name? Bielema?
Brett Bielema.
That's right. And he, of course, allegedly, there were people who said he had some sort of tryst with what's-her-face?
Erin Andrews.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's never been proven, but that was in the social media sphere, that there was some sort of liaison back in the day, years ago, between EA and Double B.
So I did watch some of that Duke-Illinois game, and that sounds painful on paper. But
because you had action on it.
I did, yeah, and Illinois covered, and I had Illinois laying the points. Here's what I know about Illinois. The guy is a good coach. They do have a really good quarterback, and they can I was going to say something else. They can mess you up.
Yes, you can say the other word. It's a podcast.
It's a family-oriented program, isn't it? It's all about...
Yeah, it's gambling. 21 and over, family-friendly.
And here's what sold me on it. You were all huffing and puffing about the Illinois getting 4.5, and then I found it on FanDuel this morning at 5.5. I said, sign me up for that.
Isn't that wild? Like, this is a pretty big game. It's week 4, so we're kind of getting toward that middle of the year type of area, and it's a conference game between 2 evenly matched teams. Yet FanDuel has this Indiana minus 5.5, but you will get another major site like Bet Rivers this morning, because we do this podcast on Tuesdays. This morning it was 4. So one site, and these are both big-time sports books. We're not like we're talking about Uncle Rico's van out here where we're making bets like we did before it was all legal. We're talking about Bet Rivers compared to FanDuel, and there's a 1.5 difference here.
Yeah, that's massive. So,
and the juice is better for the 5.5.
Yes. I think that was crazy.
It's minus 110, I believe, for the 5.5, and it was 113 for the 4.
Look, Indiana's really good. I mean, I think they're really good. They're really tough at home, especially the new era with Cignetti. But 5.5's a lot. Illinois' got some dudes, and there's a lot of ways you can win a bet getting 5.5 points. So I'll take Illinois getting the 5.5.
So I'm going to look at the total here, 52.5, and I get it. Illinois, pretty good defensively. Both teams like to run the ball. But, man, I think this is going to be a quarterback's game. And I like both of these quarterbacks. I think they're both very good. And they're veteran quarterbacks. These guys have been through the games. They've seen the things. Mendoza, who is a first-year starter for Indiana, played in big games last year at Cal. Cal hosted a college game day last year. So he's used to this kind of thing. It's not like it's brand new here. And that number, it sounds big for a Big Ten game, 52.5. But if you really sit back and think about it, would you consider 30-24 a shootout?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But last time I checked, you add those numbers up, it's higher than 52.5. This feels like a 30-24, 30-27 type of game.
Deal, 30-27. I'll take it.
And no weather issues, man. The forecast for Bloomington, Indiana on Saturday night, clear skies, like 78 degrees, no wind, should be absolutely perfect for these offenses. I'm going to ride the lightning here. I'm going to go against the grain, over 52.5. So that's the big game. We're going to make our professional handicappers coming up here in just a moment. David and Kenny pick that game as well as a game of their choosing. But, Rob, you get a game of your choosing as well.
That's right. Okay, so this is a lot of points. But here's what I know after a couple years of watching Oregon State, because somehow I ended up in an Oregon State vortex last year where they played enough bad teams that I watched and bet on several of their games. Oregon State stinks. They used to be pretty good as a school. They stink now, year in and year out. They lost by 31 to Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech is all right. But is Oregon at least 5 points better than Texas Tech? They're going to run the score up. It's an in-state rivalry game. I'm in on Oregon giving 35.5 points against Oregon State.
Am I alone in thinking it's a little early for the Civil War football game?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I know we're all in conferences now, and Oregon is in the Big Ten, which still is a little weird to me. Like, Oklahoma in the SEC is weird to me. Oregon in the Big Ten, that's weird to me. But the Civil War needs to be a little later. Like, the final week of the season, conference stuff be damned, unless they're in your conference, needs to be the rivalries. Washington, Washington State. Oregon, Oregon State. Now, you get Duke and North Carolina, IU, Purdue, Bama, Auburn. They're in the same conference. But if it's outside, like Georgia and Georgia Tech was a great game last year toward the end of the year. Haynes King.
I just love the fact that Oregon was like, not only are we going to leave and just ruin the Pac-12, we're going to go get all this money to go play in the Big Ten, but Oregon State, we hate you so much, we're still going to beat the piss out of you every single year.
We want you to stay as a tune-up for one of our next Big Ten games. All right, so Rob is going to lay that big number. What is it, 35.5?
35.5.
Big number. All right. I am looking at a game with a little less fanfare, but both teams are not bad. 2-1 Louisiana Tech hosting 2-1 Southern Miss.
That's not a degenerate special?
No. Oh, you wait for that, my friend. These teams are not bad. You got to remember, Louisiana Tech, they did not embarrass themselves against LSU a couple weeks ago. They only lost 23-7. Now, I think a lot of people would say LSU looks like one of the best teams in America, but La Tech certainly didn't embarrass themselves, and Southern Miss has put up some pretty big numbers. Now, if you watch any of their games, it's a little misleading the way they ended up blowing out some of these opponents, which is why I'm going to lay 3 with La Tech at home against Southern Miss. Louisiana Tech has covered in the last 7 games against non-ranked opponents. I think you're going to get just enough defense out of Louisiana Tech to cover that home number. Give me La Tech -3 at home against Southern Miss. All right, coming up next, our professional handicappers. We've got Kenny Britt of KB Sports, David Stephanoff of Follow Never Fade. We're going to get their thoughts on the Illinois versus Indiana game. And then, after that, Rob's going to get nuts. I've got a real degenerate special for you. We're just getting started. We are the Degenerates Next Door, the pro handicappers giving free picks next. Rolling with you on a Tuesday. And if it's Tuesday, we're talking college football. We're talking dollar bills and some bets to make. Rob and I have given you our plays, but again, we're not professionals. Hell, look at my record. You know that. But we got professional handicappers on this program, and we make them give you free plays because that's the kind of jerks we are. Kenny Britt is one of the professional handicappers at KB Sports. He owns the damn company. KB, how are you?
That's right. Yeah, when Jason says he makes us give these picks, he is not lying because I try not to give out my home team picks like the Steelers, the Colts, IU, etc. And this is a tough one this week. This IU Illinois one.
I really do feel like it's the game of the week, Kenny. I really do. With all due respect to Florida and Miami, this is where game day should have been, Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, I think we got one other really good one in Auburn and Oklahoma, but besides that, yeah. And it's just this is a tough game for. I think I overanalyzed this game quite a bit because before we went on air, you told me you was on the over. I was at first, but I overanalyzed it probably, and I'll tell you why I'm on the under here in just a second. Yeah, I overanalyzed it, Jason.
Well, that's what homers do, right? That's like when it's your team, you feel like you know it better than most, and you tend to overthink things. But, hey, let's get into it. So, number 9, Illinois, at number 19, Indiana. Hoosiers, depending on where you're looking at, and again, this is the textbook example of find the best number. If you're not married or wed to a specific sports book, I mean, if you only play at one, that's fine. But if you're catching the points, Rob found it at 5.5 at FanDuel. If you're somebody that likes Indiana to cover, it's as low as 4 over at Bet Rivers. For the biggest part of the week, it was at 4.5. The over-under has stayed the same, though, Kenny, at 52.5.
Yeah, we say it every week. Shop around. 1.5 is kind of a big spread. Usually it's a point. So the 1.5, that's kind of odd that it's gone from some places 4 to some other places 5.5. But like you said, the 52.5, it's pretty much universal everywhere. And I'm on the under. And at first glance of this game, I was on the over, but I dove into it again. I overanalyzed it. I'm going to tell you why I flip-flopped to the under. Both teams run the ball 60% of the time. I went back and looked at a couple other teams to see if that was for college football, like I looked at SMU, TCU, other teams, and that's a little heavy running the ball that much. Most teams are closer to a 50-50 split. So both teams like to run the ball a lot. IU only gave up 14 points to Old Dominion. 2 weeks ago, everybody's like, oh, my God, IU only beat Old Dominion by, 2 touchdowns. What's wrong with them? Well, Old Dominion last week went into Blacksburg, which is a pretty tough place to play, and took Virginia Tech behind the woodshed. Got their coach fired, scored 45 points on Virginia Tech. So I think Old Dominion's a pretty decent team to gauge IU on. I don't think the other 2 games are. Illinois, you got 1 game to gauge them on. That's Duke. I think we were all on Illinois that week. Duke didn't fare very well. They only gave up 19 points to Duke. They've only given up 3 points in their other 2 games total. Yes, that's Western Michigan and Western Illinois, but when you're only giving up 3 points, I don't care who you're playing against. That's pretty solid defense. Both coaches, especially Belima, he's run heavy anyway from his days at Wisconsin. I like the under. I think it's going to be a lot of energy in the game, a lot of nerves at first, And I really think that this game is going to go under. It's going to be more of a slugfest than a shootout. So I am on 52.5. This will not be a VIP play because I don't feel that great about it. But I'm going to go under 52.5 on IU Illinois.
I got you, man. And it's one of those tough games, right? Like if
we
weren't going to do the game of the week and make this the game, because we always pick the game of the week on this show, yeah. I don't know if I'd have action on it, but I simply went over for the fact that I think these are two really good offenses, two good quarterbacks. And what we've seen in college football since week one, okay, take week one out of the equation where coordinators have had a full year to prepare. When you've seen teams that are pretty evenly matched, you've seen some points. Look at Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Look at Georgia, Tennessee here. And I don't think you need, Georgia, Tennessee, like 30-24, 31-27 kind of feels right to me, and that's why I'm on the over here.
Yeah, you make valid points that are really good points. Another thing I looked at was IU, against Old Dominion, only scored 27. I would think Illinois' defense is going to be better than Old Dominion's defense. But your points are valid. Those are two. Notre Dame A&M was like 49.5, and that was over by, midway through the third quarter?
Right.
Same with Texas, Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee, Georgia. So your points are valid. Again, this will not be a VIP play, but Jason and Rob put a gun to our head and make us make up playoff games like this, and they are tough. They are tough.
All right, what's a game that you get to pick that you feel good about?
Here's a game I really love. The total is exactly identical. It's 52.5, Army, North Texas. I had a little bit of action on the North Texas-Washington State game last week, so I was watching that on my laptop while I was watching the Tennessee game on TV. North Texas scored 50-some points last week. But, a lot of times those that can be deceiving. Washington State had 5 turnovers in the first half. 3 of them put North Texas starting drive in the red zone. So I think this line is a little, inflated because of that. We all know how Army plays. North Texas will probably have 2 or 3 less possessions in this game. Last year they played and there was only 17 points scored in this game. So I am going on another under, North Texas Army, under 52.5. And just on a side note, I love watching Army and Navy play individually and obviously when they play each other. That's the best game of the year. I don't care what anybody says. Army-Navy is the best game of the year.
Okay, it's the most passionate game of the year.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Once you get into about the second quarter, the third quarter, you start thinking to yourself, I wouldn't mind seeing a pass in this game at some point.
They have both opened it up a little bit. My brother-in-law laughed at me, but they throw the ball about 8 times a game now, which is a lot for them.
Yeah. Like, I love the pageantry. I'm an American. I get it.
Right.
But after all of that, like quarter 2 through about the end of 3, it gets a little dry.
It does, I guess. But I still enjoy watching. Of course, I'm a little more old school. But
right.
But yeah, I'm on that under, Jason. 52.5 under on North Texas Army, and I think I might go under by quite a bit.
If somebody wants to become a client of yours and get all of the plays, whether it's college football, NFL, horse racing, and more, where can they go?
Yeah, Jason, I'm on Facebook on KB Sports. College football so far this year, we're 11-11, which we're not winning, but we're not losing. And I don't know if you guys have talked about it yet, but in the first 3 weeks, the general public is 2-13 on the 5 most heavily bet games each week. 2-13, and we're 11-11, so I'll take it right now until things settle down a little bit. I'll keeping our head above water and moving on to play the next week. But yeah, Facebook, KB Sports, and be careful out there, guys. Vegas is kicking ass right now.
They are, man. It's a bloodbath out there for the public.
Yeah.
Kenny Britt, my man, KB Sports. Find it on Facebook. We will talk to you on Thursday for the NFL show.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, let's go to another professional handicapper, the guy that owns followneverfade.com, the boss man, David Stephanoff, professional handicapper. David, you had a good week last week, didn't you?
Yes, sir. So far, we've had a great week. Great NFL so far. And we had a special extra little trinkle, little Christmas present with Bud Crawford Saturday night in the boxing match. But yeah, NFL's been unbelievable to us, Hammer. 15-2 so far in the NFL season. Been an unbelievable run. Thank you again, Hammer, for having me. Shout out to Rob and Kenny Britt.
So let's see how the college game treats you here. I said earlier, David, the game of the week that we're doing this week, Illinois at Indiana. I think it's the most evenly matched game between ranked teams. And if I did not make this the game of the week for all of us to play, I don't know if I would have action on it. But we're not scared around here, man. We put up or shut up. We've all made our plays. Rob is taking Illinois with the points. I'm on the over. Kenny's on the under. What say you?
This can't be a homer pick. It's going to be a good football game. Probably one of the biggest football games down in Bloomington in a long, long time. Honestly, I'm leaning here with the Illinois plus the points. I think they went on the road and won at Duke. Indiana's unproven. If you watched the Indiana State game last week, that was an absolute farce. I know two kids that played for Ritter that are playing in the backfield, or playing in the secondary for Indiana State. There's no reason they shouldn't be on the field with Big Ten players. That was a mismatch last week. Indiana's competition, they haven't played nobody, so we have no clue who they're playing, or how good they are. Illinois went on the road to Duke. We all know went on the road to Duke. Better quarterback situation. I think we got two decent quarterbacks. I like your over here in this play a little bit. I think there'll be some points scored. I think regardless, IU's defense is untested. They might give up some points. I hate to go against our Hoosiers, but I think this is gonna be the first test. I think I'm gonna scoop up the 4 points here, Hammer, and take the points. I just think this could be a field goal game. This could go either way. It's a toss up. Give me the points on the road here with Illinois Illini against our Hoosiers +4.
And what we're seeing with this points situation is wild, because here we are in week 4 and FanDuel has this at 5.5, where Bet Rivers has this at 4. So there's a 1.5 difference there for a big marquee conference game. You don't normally see that type of difference through 4 weeks of the season here. It's interesting. I know Rob jumped on FanDuel because he wanted the extra point. So we're shopping around here, David.
Yeah, that's you can get that usually early in the week on on college football games. There's so many games across the board. I don't know, maybe if Bet Rivers is keyed in, they know we'll get a lot of Indiana action, because they're going to get more Indiana bets than they will Illinois bets. Some local books will hedge at line because they know the action they're going to take. But some books are out there. Out in Vegas, Circa's always different than most of the other books. Are always the most unique one, or the craziest lines. But yeah, if you're going to take Illinois, you're right. I don't know if 5 is a key number though in football though. If 4 and 6 are more the key numbers, but right. Hey, the more points you can get, the merrier. This definitely could be a middle. Like you lay the 3, take the 6. That's definitely a good little middle you could pull there.
All right, so that's your play for the one I'm making you pick. What about a game that you get to pick from any other one on the schedule? What do you feel good about? My
degenerate special, I'm going back to my team I've been following, my Bowling Green. I got an under on them for the total wins for the year, 6.5. They're traveling south to Louisville, playing the Cardinals. Louisville's off a bye here. They've held up almost 2 weeks off. I'm going to lay the points here, the 26 points with Louisville over the Bowling Green and the Eddie Georges, the Fighting Eddie Georges of Bowling Green. I think there'll be a lot of points scored in this game. I really think there'll be a lot of points scored in this game. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to lay the 26 points with Louisville over Bowling Green Day. A lot of points coming. I like the over in this game also. But my VIP play in this game is going to be Louisville off the break. Bowling Green's had 3 tough games in a row. Like I said, Louisville's almost had 2 weeks off. They're at home. It's a cupcake for them. Lay the points with Louisville minus 26 over Bowling Green.
And you know what? That's something that we joke about, these degenerate picks, and I've got mine coming up here in just a moment. But if you find a team that stinks, riding them out and fading them can be just as effective as finding a team that you like that is dominating people and covering. We did that all last year with Fade Purdue, and up until last week, I had been doing it with Kent State. But of course, with my bets last week. Of course, Kent State comes out and looks like the 1987 Notre Dame team. But up until last week, I was fading Kent State every week.
There's two things there. Like you might have. I've watched a lot of. We all watch a lot of football. We have our teams, and I watch a lot of oddball, like college basketball teams. But you might find a team. Hey, they might not cover 1 week. They might cover 1 week for you. They might make some money. They might not be too bad. But yeah, I definitely think that you find your niche there, and definitely can find you a team. But if you're Kent State though, this week I think they're getting 43 this week. Is that what the line is? Is that right? 43. That's a lot. Looks like they're like the first half might be the play there, but that's a lot of points. They must be awful. They got a big. Plus the MAC's a down year. I'll tell you that from now. The MAC is a down year. They're used to a lot of points in the MAC. There's not a lot of points scored in the MAC this year.
The NIL era killed what we used to call Maction. These wild and crazy games where you would still have maybe once in a while NFL caliber dudes out there, but now in the NIL era, that ain't happening. If you're any good on a MAC team, you will be picked off by somebody in another conference.
Money talks, BS walks, Hammer. You know what it is. The kids doing it for some money. Hey,
I'm not mad at them.
They're changing. They're changing kids' lives, and you can't be mad at them because the coaches do the same. Coaches do the same thing. They get a better opportunity. You're going to take a job, a pay raise immediately. Who's not going to in this day and age? You can't be mad at these kids. Hey. You can't be mad at them. But hey, Hammer, thank you for having me. You can follow me everywhere: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Every single all platforms got free plays. We put out more winners than losers. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. My record's unbelievable on Instagram. You sign up for my VIP. You sign up for my football package. You get NFL. You get college football for the rest of the year, and I give you baseball and tennis for free. Like I said, we're 15. I'm not no BSing. We're 15-2 so far in NFL. I'll tell the truth. In college, we're 17-5. 17-5 in college, 15-2 in NFL. But you sign up for my football package, tennis and baseball free. Thank you, Hammer. Thank you to the mayor of Brownsburg, Rob Kendall. Riding with him was Plus Illinois. Shout out to KB Sports, Kenny Britt. Let's have a good week, and good luck to all the degenerates out there. And don't forget to follow Never Fade.
All right, so there are all of our picks for the big game. Illinois at Indiana. We've all given you a free play. Do with that as you will. But we're not done. No. Rob Kendall, he is going to get nuts, and we've got a degenerate special coming up next. Back on the Degenerates Next Door, and listen, anybody can watch Oklahoma and Auburn and Florida and Miami and Illinois taking on Indiana. But the money you can win on Troy and Buffalo spends the same. Cue up the band. It's time for the Degenerate Special.
It's time for Hammer's Degenerate Special.
Now I know what you're thinking. Buffalo did us dirty last week. Buffalo made Kent State look like the 1987 Notre Dame Fighting Irish last week, which is hard to do. So you know what? I can't accept it. I can't sleep at night. I've been grumpy all week. I've got to get this bad taste out of my mouth, so I'm going back to the well. We've got to get Buffalo right before we can move on. Troy at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 5.5-point home favorite. The over-under is just 42. So let's take a look at that total here. Troy, number 90 in the country defensively. Okay. Buffalo, number 100. And anybody that gives up that many points to Kent State should absolutely be ashamed of themselves. And look at the pace that they play with offensively. Troy, number 79 in the country. It's not bad, okay? But Buffalo, number 37. So lots of possessions, quick pace, bad defense. I'm no rocket scientist, and clearly by my record, you can tell. But I'm going to go over 42 in this one. That's not enough. We're going over 42. Buffalo can't stop Kent State. So what the hell is Troy going to do? And Troy, we need some points. Buffalo, we need some points. Enough bullcrap here. It's time for you guys to be who you are, and that's bad defensive football teams. Over 42. That is your Degenerate Special. Now, a question for you, Mr. Unofficial Mayor of Brownsburg, Indiana. Are you ready to get nuts.
All right, want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get nuts. Lights out. Now you want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
Hammer, it's the waste your entire day away parlay.
I'm here for it.
So what I did was I took a game at each time slot, and if you put them together, means you could have meaningful football between noon and 1 a.m.
You could be on pins and needles all day and night.
Are you ready for this, Jelly? At noon, we've got Texas Tech at plus 126 at Utah. That's at noon. Money line, Texas Tech plus 126. We're combining that with Michigan minus 138 at Nebraska at 3:30.
That's a good one.
At 7:30, Miami minus 295 versus Florida. And we're wrapping it up at 10:30 at night.
Woo!
Cal minus 500 at San Diego State. So Texas Tech plus 126 at Utah, Michigan minus 138 at Nebraska, Miami minus 295 versus Florida, and Cal minus 500 versus San Diego State. You put them all together, you get plus 526. A $10 bet would pay you $52.60.
And you've got action from noon until, in theory, 1 in the morning.
That's right.
All right, want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get nuts. Lights out. Now you want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
Imagine if it comes down to that final game of you hitting this thing. Like you've been just zoned in all day, and now it's 12:30, it's 12:45, your wife's yelling at you, turn off the TV and come to bed. No, honey, we're getting nuts, and we're in the home stretch.
I spent $100 in alcohol to make $52.60.
Let's recap the board here. I am on the over 52.5, Illinois at Indiana. I'm going to lay 3 with Louisiana Tech at home against Southern Miss. Rob Kendall, you've got the Illini with the points. You found 5.5 at FanDuel. You're also going to lay a pretty decent-sized number with Oregon taking on Oregon State. A little Civil War, 35.5. Our professionals, Kenny Britt of KB Sports, he's on the under 52.5 with Illinois and Indiana. He's also on the under 52.5 with Army and North Texas. And David Stephanoff, follow, never fade. Like you, Rob, he's taking the Illini with the points. And he is going to lay 26 with Louisville covering against Bowling Green. Those are our plays. Do with that as you will. We will be back on Tuesday for the NFL show. Whether we win, whether we lose, damn, we have the most fun out of anybody talking bets and degenerate stuff. For Rob Kendall, for Kenny Britt, for David Stephanoff, I'm Jason Hammer. Good luck, everybody. We'll talk to you on Thursday for the NFL show. And as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.